everyone, and welcome back to the special collaboration between SIBZ and the Lara Quente Ledger. We are still reviewing The Witcher, you guys. We are on episode 7.
Yep.
And we've got really big takeaways, 3 specifically.
Hey, this feels pretty good. Like, we're on episode 7. We're getting there toward the end.
Yeah, if you guys are excited for the season finale, leave a like.
Yes.
Let's get into these segues.
Stop
I
point
think
number
that's
1.
Jay.
Right?
I have 3.
Oh, all right. Well, I think
You're
that's
number
me. Okay, so guys, the first big takeaway for this episode is, hello, we have not seen Geralt in the present until this episode.
To be fair, I called it. Just throwing it out there.
What, did you?
Yeah, but that wasn't even technically the present.
As was revealed in this episode, Geralt actually became a prisoner in Sintra, and he actually remained there until the fall of Sintra. It's so crazy, guys, to think that Geralt was in the same building with Ciri at the time that she needed him most, and so now who knows how far away they are from each other.
It shows the whole season so far, everyone's been saying, especially Yennefer, was saying that Geralt wouldn't be responsible and take responsibility for the child that's his by this law of surprise. And the truth is, he was there the whole time.
Wow.
And he was, like, being held.
Throughout the time that Yennefer and Geralt were kind of intertwined in their little love story, he was trying to avoid going back to Sintra to claim this law of surprise.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where her kind of pointing this finger like, yo, you're coming at me, but it's really you that haven't taken responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes it such a big deal. At this point, based somewhat on a loose timeline, it's about 3 days that Ciri's been gone.
Second biggest takeaway is Yennefer, guys. She's going through quite a transformation from the beginning to where we are now in episode 7. She's fought for all this power. She's got the power. She's fixed her disfigurement. She's fixed all these things. And now she realizes that maybe it wasn't worth it.
She had the extreme of poverty and lack, and then she went so far in the other direction she didn't realize what she was looking for was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, we kind of hinted on this in the last episode, episode 6, when we were talking about Yennefer. But in this episode, she actually sits down with Istrid, her first lover, and says, you know, I've gotten all of those things. You know, I've gotten the attention, and it was great. I lapped it up when I was young, but now I want someone who wants me. That's a huge step. I think that's what will propel her forward now to finding Ciri and Geralt eventually.
For sure.
But I think there's definitely a turn in her being a little less selfish.
I'm looking forward to her and Geralt meeting up again after their big fight.
The realization really that I saw from Yennefer in this episode was that through her conversation with Istrid, leading to kind of like that self-discovery. When she was taken back to Aretuza, under the false pretense really of Tissaia needing her help, she went back to her own room and saw her disfigured self once again and kind of realized where she initially came from. Throughout this whole series, we've seen that Yennefer really hasn't maintained the kind of realization of where she came from.
Yeah, she lost herself.
And she completely lost herself. And now she's starting to kind of get back to that.
Full 360.
Full kind of circle here.
Seeing her friends that are now eels in the water, you know, all these different things, she's like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe everything that I wanted isn't what I needed.
Point number 3, we saw a huge burst of power at the end of this episode. Jeremy, you wrote it down
Prophecy.
for us. So please give us that.
The prophecy that was kind of uttered through almost like a possession-like trance said, "Verily I say unto you, the era of the sword and the axe is nigh, the era of the wolf's blizzard. The time of the white chill and the white light is nigh, the time of madness and the time of contempt." We have all 3 of our main focused characters broken down in these 3 things. For my money, obviously the wolf's blizzard is about Geralt. We've heard about him being the white wolf throughout the entire series. I think that the white chill and the white light brings forth the idea of Ciri herself.
And the white flame.
And the white flame that we've just heard about. There seems to be like this battle. And then the time of madness and the time of contempt, to me, is Yennefer. We know that she's been called by Tissaia throughout the entire time as this, you know, almost, chaotic figure. Right, she's this chaotic figure.
Earlier in episode 5 or 6, we heard Frangilla talking to Kahir about the axe and the sword. So this is a spoken before prophecy, okay? Which means that the sword and the axe and sword, whatever, is a warrior-based person. I like what you're talking about with the 3 lines of the prophecy being our main protagonist, but what if the sword and the axe is Geralt himself because the wolf's blizzard, the wolf's storm, somebody who blinds the wolf, somebody who screws with the wolf constantly being Yennefer. I'd agree with you with Ciri being the light and fire and being possessed by the Lord of Light himself.
Yeah. The Lord of Light.
There's a lot that can be kind of taken from this prophecy in a lot of different ways. I think that there's multiple entities from this show that could be described within these lines of this passage.
For sure.
I think it's definitely something that's worth a couple of listens to.
It's funny because I was just thinking, I think this is the first TV show for me at least where I am going to want to watch the first season again in its entirety. Normally for me, I just rewatch episodes. I think rewatching this first season will be needed because even just like we watched the first episode with our parents last night, and there's so many things that tie in to the first episode that we aren't seeing, that don't make any sense until episode 7. This show is full of that, and props to Netflix because they knew people were going to gobble up these first 8 episodes and then have to wait almost
But it
another
makes sense. Yeah, but it makes sense because, I mean, look at it comes 360. We start with the same scenes that we're coming to the end of in season 7 in the first season.
Yeah.
How much it directly forces back into episode 1.
Yeah.
And in episode 2, the first episode that I was a part of for the review, I made note of the fact that there's so much here that we do need to take a couple of looks at it.
Yeah.
So I think that going back over, it's going to be something that, you know, we really get a lot more on our second pass.
Yeah.
We know that this may not have a happy ending, but we also know that they're all probably going to reunite, given the prophecy. If not this season, episode 8.
For sure.
Wait,
Yeah, I agree.
not this episode.
Yeah, because we're on 8 now.
Episode 9.
There's
no
no
episode.
Episode 2.
Season 1. Season 2, episode 1.
Yeah, so guys, those are our thoughts. Let us know. We want to hear all your breakdowns of the prophecy. We know this is going to have big implications for not only the next episode, but even possibly the second season. So let us know in the comments down below.
Anyway, guys, so those are our 3 biggest takeaways from The Witcher episode 7. Like this video if you like this video. If you have any predictions about the prophecy that we just heard or any kind of weird tidbits that you've seen in watching the first 7 episodes, let us know in the comments below. Click the bell to get notified.
My bad.
Click the bell to get notified for new videos both on SIBZ and Larry Quente Ledger. And thanks you guys so much for watching.
Peace.